Hi, welcome to the class of Complex Analysis, Probability and Statistical Methods 18 Mat 41. Today, I'll be teaching a topic in Module 1, Calculus of Complex Functions, and the topic name is Type 4 Category of Problems and some standard proofs. Some miscellaneous problems and some standard proofs we are going to see under Type 4. Myself, Dr. Madhura, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology, Bengaluru. We'll see some standard problems now. So very first one, if f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic, find f of z if u minus v is given for us, u minus v is equal to x minus y into x square plus 4xy plus y square. So u minus v expression is given for us. We need to find f of z, the analytic function f of z we have to find. It is already mentioned that the given function f of z is analytic. So we can apply CR equations in the middle of the problem when need by. So let us see the solution first. So given u minus v, we can find out the partial derivatives with respect to x and with respect to y. First, we will multiply this product given for us so that it will be easy for us to proceed further. Okay, so this is the given expression for us. First, we will rewrite the given expression u minus v by multiplying in the right hand side. So u minus v is equal to, let us multiply x first for the entire second bracket. So we get x cube plus 4x square y plus xy square. Then we'll multiply minus y for the entire second bracket. So minus x square y plus into minus 4xy square minus y cube. So we will rewrite u minus v once again by combining all the like terms. So u minus v is equal to x cube minus y cube. These are the independent terms. So I have plus 3x square y and minus 3xy square. Combining the like terms, 4x square y minus x square y will give us 3x square y. And then we have minus 4xy square plus xy square, which is as minus 3xy square. So this is the expression u minus v for us. Now we will differentiate partially with respect to x and later with respect to y. So differentiating partially with respect to x. What is the differentiation partially with respect to x? Left hand side will be ux minus vx. U suffix x minus vx. Right hand side x cube differentiation is 3x square minus 0 plus 3 into 2, 6xy minus 3y square. Partial differentiation with respect to x, y is a constant. So 3x square differentiation is 6x, keeping y as it is. And here x differentiation is 1, 3y square as it is. Differentiation of minus y cube is 0 with respect to x partially. Now we will call this as equation 1 and simultaneously we will differentiate u minus v term partially now with respect to y. So differentiating partially with respect to y, what we get? The left hand side will be uy minus vy, and the right hand side differentiation, it will be minus 3y square plus 3x square and then minus 6xy. Let me explain the differentiation once again to you. So with respect to y, when we differentiate partially, it will be uy minus vy, and x cube differentiation goes to 0 when we are differentiating partially with respect to y. So 0 minus y cube differentiation is 3y square and y differentiation is 1. So 3x square remains. Y square differentiation is 2y. So 3x into 2y gives us 6xy. So this is equation 2 for us. Equation 2 for us. Now what was the purpose of partially differentiating like this is, now let us use CR equations. Since the given function f of z is analytic, we can use CR equations and change the y terms to x or x terms to y. Any one of them we will use it. So I'll be using, it is convenient for us to use y term to x. So let us apply CR equations and change uy is equal to what and vy is equal to what. Let us see that. So we have, since f of z is analytic, since f of z which is equal to u plus iv always, and this is analytic, by CR equations, ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. We are all familiar memorizing the CR equations in this form, but I would like to change what is vy is equal to. So it is ux, and I would like to change uy expression which is minus vx. So we will substitute both these into the previous expression, that is equation number 2, and rewrite equation 2 now. So equation 2 implies we'll be obtaining minus vx minus ux is equal to the right hand side as it is. So we have 3x square minus 3y square minus 6xy. And I'll call this as equation 3 now. Let me call this as equation 3. Right. Let us just observe the previous expression once. So did we do it correctly, the substitution and all that? So we have uy minus vy. Uy is nothing but, by CR equations, uy is equal to minus vx. So that is why minus vx here. And there was a minus sign already. So I wrote the minus sign as it is. And vy is equal to, from CR equations, vy is equal to ux. So that is why we have got ux here. Right hand side, when I am writing, I have just taken care to write on the positive term first. That is 3x square was the positive term that we had. And then I have written minus 3y square minus 6xy. So this is equation 3 for us. Now the purpose of equation 1 and 3 is to solve them simultaneously. Now just for convenient, I will rewrite equation 1 once again in the next page, so that equation 1 and 3 when we look into, it will be helpful for us to solve them simultaneously. Okay, so I'll just rewrite equation 1 once again. Equation 1 is given by ux minus vx, ux minus vx is equal to 3x square minus 3y square plus 6xy. So this was our equation 1 for us. So now what is helpful? We can solve them simultaneously. No, we can solve equation 1 and 3 simultaneously. First we can add up these two to obtain an expression for Vx, and then when we subtract these two we can obtain an expression for Ux. Okay, so let us first add 1 and 3. Equation 1 plus 3 implies, let us add equation 1 and 3 first. Left hand side you observe, when we add equations 1 and 3, ux get cancelled. Ux get cancelled and we have minus 2 vx. Remaining is minus 2 times of vx. Vx is getting added up. And when we add these two in the right hand side, 3x square plus 3x square will give us 6x square minus 6y square. And we observe plus 6xy and minus 6xy get cancelled. We are adding equations 1 and 3 to obtain this expression. Now what is Vx from this then? Solving this expression, dividing throughout by minus 2, Vx is equal to minus 3x square plus 3y square. Plus 3y square. We'll be in need of this later. So now for time being, we will subtract equation 1 and 3. So equation 1 minus 3 will now imply us equation 1 minus 3. So when I subtract, or we can use always also 3 minus 1. Let me perform 3 minus 1 as it is one below the other. Okay. So I'll just perform equation 3 minus 1. Anything we can do. Since it was one below the other, it will be easy for me to do it. That is the reason I am doing 3 minus 1. So minus Vx, minus of minus Vx. So plus Vx. Minus Vx plus Vx get cancelled. Minus Ux minus Ux will give me minus 2Ux. Minus 2Ux is equal to 3x square minus 3x square get cancelled. Minus 3y square minus of minus plus 3y square get cancelled. Minus 6xy minus of plus is minus 6xy. So 6xy get added up now. So we get minus 12xy. Just check it out whether this is correct. Equation 3 minus 1 I am performing. Anything we can do. 1 minus 3. Since equation 3 below I had 1, I was just rewriting in this manner by subtracting equation 3 minus 1. So I have minus Vx minus of minus Vx cancels. Minus Ux gives me minus 2Ux. And then 3x square get cancelled. 3y square get cancelled. 6xy gets added up. So dividing throughout by minus 2, what is the expression that we are getting for Ux? So Ux is equal to 6xy. 6xy. So as I mentioned, I'll be in need of this Vx expression and I'll be in need of this Ux expression. Okay. Now what is the purpose of keeping that Ux and Vx? We can use the expression for f dash of z. See, our aim is to find f of z. So once I know f dash of z, integrating with respect to z, I can obtain f of z also, the analytic function f of z. So what shall we do now? We will consider the expression for f dash of z. Consider f dash of z is equal to ux plus I into vx. Ux plus I into vx. Let us substitute both the partial derivatives now. So f dash of z is equal to ux we obtained as 6xy plus I into vx. What is vx? We'll recall once. 3y square minus 3x square. If at all I want to write the positive term first, it is 3y square minus 3x square we have to write down. So plus I into 3y square minus 3x square. Now we will apply Milne-Thomson substitution. In the Cartesian form, using Milne-Thomson substitution, we can put x is equal to z and y is equal to 0. When we substitute x is equal to z and y is equal to 0, we obtain f dash of z as a function of z. So this will give me, since y is 0, first term will be 0 plus I into, this will be 0 minus 3z square. So we obtained f dash of z as a function of z as minus 3iz square. So that now when we integrate with respect to z, integrating on both sides, with respect to z, integrating with respect to z, so this will give us f of z as a function of z now. So f of z will be equal to minus 3I integration of z square dz plus the constant of integration c. So this is minus 3I into z cube divided by 3 plus the constant of integration c. So this is 3 get cancelled. So minus I into z cube plus c. So this is the required answer for f of z. So f of z is minus I into z cube plus the constant of integration c for us. So this is how we obtain, given u minus v, the analytic function f of z can be obtained. We'll see second problem now. I'll take up a polar representation of the curve. If f of z is equal to, if f of z is equal to u of r comma theta plus I into v of r comma theta is analytic, if this is analytic, and given that u plus v is equal to 1 divided by r square multiplied by cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta, where r is not equal to 0. So given this, determine f of z. Determine f of z. So this is our question. Given f of z is equal to u of r theta plus I into v of r theta, means a polar representation of u plus iv. Given f of z is equal to analytic, and given the function f u plus v is equal to 1 by r square into cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta, where r is not equal to 0, we need to determine the function f of z. So this is a question for us. Let us consider u plus v and partially differentiate with respect to r and theta. We are polar variables we are dealing with now. So we need to differentiate partially with respect to r and theta. So first I will write down what is given. 1 divided by r square into cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta. Now we will have to differentiate partially with respect to r and later with respect to theta. So differentiating partially with respect to r. With respect to r, what do we get? ur plus vr. ur plus vr is equal to, differentiation of 1 by r square is minus 2 by r cube. And we have to retain the theta term as it is. Means cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta, let us retain as it is. This is ur plus vr. Now, similarly, we will differentiate with respect to theta and obtain another expression. So first I will call this as equation 1. We will be in need of this. Now we will differentiate given u plus v term partially with respect to y. Theta. Theta is the variable, no? With respect to theta, let us differentiate. So we obtain it is u theta plus v theta is equal to, keeping 1 by r square as it is, let us differentiate cos 2 theta, which is minus 2 sin 2 theta, and minus as it is, differentiation of sin 2 theta is 2 into cos 2 theta. 2 into cos 2 theta. So I can take out this minus 2 outside common and rewrite the expression and call it as equation 2 just for convenient. So I'll write down u theta plus v theta is equal to, I'll take minus 2 common divided by r square. Remaining is cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. Right now I just wrote the cos term first. Taking minus common, I wrote cos 2 theta first and then sin 2 theta. Both becomes plus sine because I am taking minus 2 common outside. So this is equation 2 for us. Now, what is the next agenda? Using CR equations. Because f of z is analytic, we can apply CR equations in the polar form. So what are CR equations in the polar form? It is given by r ur is equal to v theta and r vr is equal to minus u theta, right? So let us apply CR equations in the polar form. So using, or we can first, I think, just mention that it is analytic, no? So since f of z is analytic, by CR equations, r ur is equal to v theta and r Vr is equal to minus u theta. Now let us change the theta terms in both the expressions, no? So let us rewrite the expression for v theta and u theta. So v theta can be written as r ur and u theta can be written as minus r into Vr. So let us change v theta and u theta in equation 2. So equation 2 will now imply minus r Vr plus r ur is equal to minus 2 divided by r square cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. I retain the right hand side as it is. I have just substituted for the left hand side. So let us just once verify whether left hand side is substituted properly. We had to substitute u theta plus v theta. So what was u theta? U theta is nothing but minus r Vr. So that is why minus r Vr plus v theta we had. So v theta is r ur. That is why we have substituted like this. Right hand side I have retained as it is. Now let us divide throughout by r and rewrite the expression. Yes, let us divide throughout by r and rewrite the expression. So dividing throughout by r, we get minus Vr plus ur is equal to minus 2 divided by r cube, dividing throughout by r. This is cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. And let me call this as equation 3. So our aim is to now solve equation 1 and 3 simultaneously. Equation 1 is also with respect to r. Left hand side you observe ur plus Vr. And equation 3 just now we obtained also is with respect to Vr and ur. So we can solve equations 1 and 3 simultaneously. So one time let us add equations 1 and 3 and the second time let us subtract equations 1 and 3. So like previous problem, I'll rewrite equation 1 once again just below this for convenient. Okay. So rewriting equation 1. So let me rewrite that once again for you. So this is ur plus Vr is equal to minus 2 divided by r cube into cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta. This was equation 1 for us, no? Yes, minus 2 by r cube cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta. Left hand side is ur plus Vr. So now I will call this as equation 1 itself because we just rewrote equation 1 just for convenient to solve simultaneously one below the other. Now like previous problem, we will first add equation 1 and 3 and then later subtract equation 3 and 1. Okay, so it is first adding 3 and 1. So equation 3 plus 1 implies 2 ur is equal to, this will give us 2 into ur is equal to minus 2 by r cube was common in both the terms. I will keep it as it is. And we have equation 3 which is cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. And then we have cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta. Let me verify and show it to you first. So this is left hand side equation 3 plus 1. So left hand side we observe minus Vr and plus Vr get cancelled when we are adding these two equations. Then ur get added up. So 2 ur. And in the right hand side I am keeping minus 2 by r cube as it is and then adding up the bracket term. So cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta plus cos 2 theta minus sin 2 theta. That's what I wrote here. And we observe that one of the term get cancelled now. So which term get cancelled? Sin 2 theta get cancels. One is plus, the other one is minus. So what is the expression we are getting for 2 ur? So this becomes 2 ur is equal to minus 2 by r cube into 2 cos 2 theta. Again, I can cancel 1, 2 on both sides. Of course, in the previous step itself, we would have cancelled. So one of the two get cancelled. And the expression for UR that we have obtained is, therefore, UR is equal to minus 2 by R cube into cos 2 theta. So later we'll be in need of this. This is the expression for UR for us. Now similarly, let us subtract equation 3 minus 1. You can perform 1 minus 3 or 3 minus 1. So here I am performing 3 minus 1. Okay. So what do we remain when I perform 3 minus 1? It is minus 2 VR is equal to, I'll retain the minus 2 by R cube as it is, which is common in both of them. And then equation 3 is cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta minus cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. Let us observe and check whether this is correct once. So we are performing actually equation 3 minus 1. Correct, no? Equation 3 minus 1. So equation 3 minus 1 means UR get cancelled. This is minus VR minus VR. 3 minus 1, no? So this becomes minus VR. Minus VR will be minus 2 VR, what we wrote in the left hand side. And then we have minus 2 by R cube common. First I wrote cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta as it is, minus of equation 1. So minus of equation 1, when we perform, it is minus cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. Minus cos 2 theta plus sin 2 theta. And now we observe that cos 2 theta term, one is positive, the other one is negative, which get cancelled. So we can write down the expression for minus 2 VR. And before I do that, can I cancel off minus 2 also on both sides? So it's minus 2 get cancelled on both sides, no? So what do I remain as positive VR expression? So VR is equal to minus get cancelled. So it is 1 divided by R cube into 2 sin 2 theta. And this is one and the same as writing the expression for VR as VR is equal to 2 divided by R cube sin 2 theta. And it's a positive one. Let us observe this is positive value. Plus and outside minus I've got cancelled with the left hand side minus. So these are the expressions for UR and VR. And what was the purpose of finding UR and VR? Now we can use the expression for f dash of z. So consider the expression for f dash of z in the polar form. So f dash of z is given by e power minus I theta into UR plus I into VR. Let us substitute both the partial derivatives UR and VR. So we can now rewrite f dash of z as e power minus I theta as it is UR. The expression for UR is minus 2 by R cube into cos 2 theta plus I into 2 divided by R cube sin 2 theta. VR is plus 2 by R cube sin 2 theta. Now immediately we can use Milne-Thomson substitution, which helps us to write down f dash of z as a function of z. So using Milne-Thomson substitution, put r is equal to z and theta is equal to 0. So we have f dash of z, outside term e power 0 into minus 2 by z cube cos 0 plus I into 2 divided by z cube sin 0. Recall the standard values. Sin 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. So we obtain f dash of z is equal to minus 2 divided by z cube. This is because sin 0 is 0. Sin 0 vanishes. So this goes to 0. And cos 0 value is equal to 1. E power 0 value is 1. So I have minus 2 by z cube. Now we integrate with respect to z. Integrating with respect to z, to obtain f of z as a function of z. So we get f of z is equal to minus 2 into integration of z power minus 3 dz plus the constant of integration c. So this is minus 2 into z power minus 3 plus 1 divided by minus 3 plus 1. From the standard function, integration of z power n is z power integration of z power n is z power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. So integration of z power minus 3. We took z power 3 in the denominator to numerator. It became z power minus 3. So integration of z power minus 3 is z power minus 3 plus 1, which is minus 2, divided by the same term, minus 2. So that minus 2 and minus 2 get cancelled. And therefore, f of z, given required analytic function f of z is 1 divided by z square plus the constant of integration c. 1 divided by z square. Z power minus 2 to the denominator, it is 1 by z square plus c. So this is how we can obtain a problem with respect to u minus v or u plus v, a Cartesian or a polar representation. So given u minus v or u plus v, we can obtain the analytic function f of z in this methodology. We'll see third problem now. The next set of problems are like standard proofs for us. So third one, if f of z is analytic, if f of z is analytic, then show that dou square divided by dou x square plus dou square divided by dou y square, the whole thing into mod f of z whole square is equal to 4 times of mod f dash z the whole square. So these are some of the standard proofs for us, which can be worked very easily through the analytic function concept. So let us see the solution. Since f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic, it is the given data for us. So solution, given f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic. So later if need by we can use CR equations. Let us see what is mod z if f of z is u plus iv. So it is square root of real square plus imaginary square. U is the real part and v is the imaginary part. So when we take mod f of z, it will be square root of real value square plus imaginary value square, which is u square plus v square. We took mod f of z based on our requirement in the LHS. But we want square of it. So let us take mod f of z whole square now. So this gives us mod f of z the whole square is equal to squaring on both sides. This is u square plus v square. Say this is equal to 5. U square plus v square. So mod f of z whole square value is also 5. U square plus v square after squaring we are getting, which is also equal to say 5. Now with this, let us see what is to be proved. So in place of mod f of z whole square in the requirement, I'll write on 5 and show that what is to be proved. So to prove dou square divided by dou x square plus dou square divided by dou y square, the whole thing into 5. The outside term is nothing but 5 for us. 4 into mod f dash z the whole square. This is 5 for us, no? Mod f of z the whole square is nothing but 5 we have taken. So I wrote 5 there. Now we will multiply 5 for both the derivatives. So this gives us dou square 5 by dou x square plus dou square 5 by dou y square is equal to 4 times of mod f dash z the whole square. Now in short form, this can be written as 5xx plus 5yy is equal to 4 times of mod f dash z whole square. This is to be proved. So what is to be proved? We are trying to know it in terms of phi now. Because we denoted mod f of z whole square as phi, we are able to show it what is to be proved in terms of the expression phi. Phi xx stands for dou square phi by dou x square. Second order partial derivative of phi with respect to x. Dou square phi by dou y square can be in short written as phi yy. So partial derivative of phi with respect to y twice. Second order. Okay. So keeping this in mind, now let us consider the given expression, that is phi is equal to u square plus v square. Let us consider and try to find out phi xx, phi yy and add it up and try to arrive at the requirement. That is 4 times of mod f dash z whole square. So let us consider phi first. So phi is u square plus v square. Phi is u square plus v square. Now we differentiate phi partially with respect to x twice. Partially with respect to x twice. So we get first one time when I differentiate, it is dou phi by dou x, which is equal to 2u into dou u by dou x plus 2v into dou v by dou x. Let me explain the chain rule concept of the differentiation here. We are differentiating phi partially with respect to x. So it is dou phi by dou x, which is equal to u square differentiation, just not 2u, into dou u by dou x, because we are differentiating partially with respect to x. So chain rule concept has to be applied, plus v square differentiation is 2v into dou v by dou x. Dou v by dou x. So I've used the short forms for dou u by dou x as ux and dou v by dou x as vx. Now the same thing can be rewritten as phi x is equal to 2 times of u into ux plus v into vx. I just took 2 common. Now let us differentiate once again partially. As already mentioned, we are differentiating twice to obtain phi xx. So what will be phi xx from this? Phi xx is equal to 2 times of product rule for u into ux. So u into uxx plus ux into ux plus v into vxx plus vx into vx. Let me explain the product rule for you. So first I will have to apply u into ux product rule. That is because both u and v are functions of x comma y. They are not constants here. So ux means it's a partial derivative of u with respect to x. So there also we need to apply product rule. So first I will keep u as it is. Differentiation of ux is uxx. Means differentiation of dou u by dou x is dou square u by dou x square. Plus ux, keep it as it is. Differentiation of u with respect to x is ux. So ux into ux, I have directly written ux square. Plus same way for v into vx, I will keep v as it is. Differentiation of vx partially with respect to x is vxx. Plus vx as it is. Differentiation of v with respect to x is once again vx. Vx into vx gives us vx square, which I have written directly. Now keeping this in mind, we can directly write down the expression for phi yy. I wrote similarly. It's a similarity function. Phi is a similarity function. U square plus v square, both are square terms only. So we can apply the similarity function concept and directly write down the expression for phi yy. Everywhere instead of x, we are replacing x by y and writing this expression. So which is equal to 2 times of u into uyy plus uy square plus v into vyy plus vy square. So I'll be adding these two expressions now. The sum up of these two expressions we should do now. Adding the above equations. Let us add and write down what is phi xx plus phi yy, because that is my requirement now. Phi xx plus phi yy is equal to, why are we adding? I'll just show it in the previous page. Observe the requirement, phi xx plus phi yy is our requirement. So that is the reason I obtained partial derivative twice with respect to x and twice with respect to y. Now we are adding them. Okay. Now while adding, I take care that 2 is common. So I write down 2 outside. And then I'll write down the remaining things as it is. U into uxx plus ux square plus v into vxx plus vx square plus the remaining u into uyy plus uy square plus v into vyy plus vy square. So this is just the addition of the above two expressions. Now in the next step, I will take common things together and group it together. What I mean to say is, I observe that in u into uxx and u into uyy, I can take out u common in these two expressions. Similarly, in v into vxx and v into vyy, I can take v common in these two expressions. So like that, I will take common and write down the things together in the next step. Right. So left hand side I will retain as it is. My left hand side is phi xx plus phi yy. And in the right hand side, I have 2 common outside. Now when I take u common, I remain with uxx plus uyy. And when I take v common, I remain with vxx plus vyy. The remaining terms also I will write down as it is, plus ux square plus vx square plus uy square plus vy square. And I'll call this some numbering. Say this is equation 1 for us. So let me just show you the next expression. I took out u common in these two. I took out v common in these two. Then the remaining terms I've written as it is, writing down 2 common outside. Okay. Now, in the next step, we can make use of the given data. The data says that f of z is analytic. So since f of z is analytic, we will be able to use these particular data. That is, one is CR equations. Then the other one is in the harmonic functions, we learned a concept called as the real and imaginary parts of an analytic function are harmonic. So both of these we can use since f of z is analytic, which is given for us. So since f of z is analytic, the real and imaginary parts of an analytic function are harmonic. So this gives us uxx plus uyy is equal to 0 and vxx plus vyy is equal to 0. Real part of the analytic function f of z is equal to u plus iv. The real part of that analytic function is u and the imaginary part of that analytic function is v. So real part and the imaginary part are both harmonic, means both real and the imaginary part satisfy the Laplace's equation in Cartesian form, which is uxx plus uyy is equal to 0 and vxx plus vyy is equal to 0. This is one of the concepts what we want to use. Also, we can use CR equations. So we know that ux is equal to vy and we also know that vx is equal to minus uy. We are able to use CR equations because given f of z is analytic. So with this one concept f of z is analytic, we are able to use two theorems. One is CR equations, and the other one is real and imaginary parts of analytic function are harmonic. So that we are going to change Vy is equal to Ux and Uy is equal to minus Vx. Both these we will change in equation 1, as well as Uxx plus Uyy is 0, Vxx plus Vyy is 0. So the bracket terms here in equation 1 are 0. So we will rewrite equation 1 now. So equation 1 implies 5xx plus 5yy is equal to 2 times of the first two bracket terms are 0, 0 into u plus 0 into v. So both are zeros. I'll directly go to the remaining terms. I retain the x terms as it is and use CR equations for the y terms. Okay. So ux square plus vx square. Then we have uy. Uy is equal to minus vx. So it is plus vx square again. Plus Vy is nothing but Ux. Squaring, the minus sign becomes plus only. So we have 5xx plus 5yy is equal to 2 times of 2ux square plus 2vx square. Can again take 2 common and write it down as 4 into ux square plus vx square. So I'll be in need of this equation. I'll call it as equation 1 and this equation 2, I'm sorry. And this is left hand side is nothing but 5xx plus 5yy is equal to so much. 4 into ux square plus vx square. Okay. I'll call this as equation 2. Now we will consider the expression for f dash of z. We are familiar again from the theory, no? An expression for f dash of z. Long ago while doing CR equations itself we have derived this. We consider the expression for f dash of z, which is given by ux plus I into vx. I take mod f dash z. Now what is the purpose of taking mod f dash of z is, again going back to the previous page, I'll show you the question. The right hand side is mod f dash of z whole square. The right hand side of the requirement is mod f dash z whole square. So that is the reason I take mod f dash z now. So this gives us square root of ux square plus vx square. Now again squaring on both sides, this becomes mod f dash z whole square is equal to mod f dash z whole square is equal to ux square plus vx square. And let me call this as equation 3. Now observe equation 3 and equation 2. Ux square plus vx square now can be substituted from equation 3 as mod f dash z whole square. What are we doing? Substituting equation 3 in equation 2. Substitute 3 in equation 2. We get, so let me write down what do we get. The left hand side of equation 2 is 5xx plus 5yy. So left hand side I'll retain as it is 5xx plus 5yy. And the right hand side is 4 into, now is mod f dash z the whole square. Right hand side will be 4 into mod f dash z whole square, because observe 4 I am writing as it is. Ux square plus vx square is nothing but mod f dash z whole square from equation 3. We are substituting this equation 3 in equation 2. And this is our requirement if we check back the previous pages. To prove what is to be proved in short form, we had already written 5xx plus 5yy should be equal to 4 times of mod f dash z whole square. Mod f dash z whole square. And that is what we arrived at. So, thus the given proof. Now we'll see the next problem, which is again another standard proof. If f of z is a regular function of z, if f of z is a regular function of z, show that dou by dou x of mod f of z the whole square plus dou by dou y of mod f of z the whole square is equal to mod f dash z the whole square. So our requirement is, given f of z is a regular function of z. So regular function is same as saying analytic function or holomorphic function. They are the different names for the analytic function. So given f of z is an analytic function, we need to prove that dou by dou x of mod f of z whole square plus dou by dou y of mod f of z whole square is equal to f dash z the whole square. F dash of z the whole square. So proof is almost similar to the previous one, just that in the beginning itself there are small changes if you could observe, right? So very firstly, given f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic. Of course, again we are in requirement of mod f of z. Looking into the LHS part, there is modulus function. So square root of u square plus v square. And here if we observe, we are not going to square this because whole square term we are having dou by dou x of mod f of z whole square term is existing here. Correct? So this is mod f of z term which is square root of u square plus v square, and directly let us denote this by function phi. Directly let us denote this function by phi. So that when I observe here it is dou phi by dou x whole square plus dou phi by dou y whole square is equal to mod f dash z whole square is to be proved. So like previous problem, here again we will write down what is to be proved so that it will be easy for us to analyze with respect to the variable phi. So to prove dou by dou x of phi whole square plus dou by dou y of phi whole square is equal to mod f dash z the whole square. So in short form, this is one and the same as writing dou phi by dou x the whole square, correct? Dou phi by dou y the whole square is equal to mod f dash. We'll write down short form in the next step. So this short form in the next step, I can write it down as phi x square plus phi y square is equal to mod f dash z whole square. First order partial derivative. Dou phi by dou x is the first order partial derivative, phi x. And this is having square. That is why square in the power. Dou phi by dou y is again first order partial derivative with respect to y. So phi y. Square is having, so square is equal to mod f dash z the whole square. Okay. So this is to be proved. Phi x square plus phi y square is equal to mod f dash z whole square. Now we will consider the function phi. Phi is equal to square root of u square plus v square. So we will consider phi and differentiate partially once with respect to x, once with respect to y, and then we will square them and proceed. Yes, consider phi is equal to, we have taken phi as square root of u square plus v square, square root of u square plus v square. Now if you try to directly differentiate partially with respect to y and x, it will be difficult for us to proceed since there is square root term. So let us square on both sides and keep it for convenient. So that phi square is u square plus v square. Now we can differentiate partially with respect to x and later we can find out similarly with respect to y. So this partial differentiation in the left hand side gives me 2 phi into phi x is equal to 2u into ux plus 2v into vx. We observe there is 2 common throughout. So dividing throughout by 2, I can write down 5 into 5x is equal to u into ux plus v into vx. This is 5 into 5x expression. Since phi is a symmetric function, observe the function phi is a symmetric function. So that is the reason we can similarly write down an expression for phi into phi y. So we can write down similarly phi into phi y. Just replace x by y and we can write down this u into uy plus v into vy. Now we will square and add them up. Above equations we will square and add it up. Squaring and adding above equations we get. Let us square and add them up one by one. So squaring terms 5x. Sorry, it is 5 square 5x square plus 5 square 5y square. Right hand side whole square plus whole square. Correct? Of that form it will be. So let me show it to you first. So it is of the form 5 square 5x square plus 5 square 5y square is equal to right hand side ux plus vvx whole square plus uy plus vvy. This should have been v. So v into vy whole square. Right, let me explain why it is whole square form. Right hand side we have when I want to square and then later add it up. So when I want to square, it cannot be directly square terms. It will be of the form a plus b whole square. So I have to write down this plus symbol and then square whole square. And then write down in the form of whole square. That is what I meant. So u into uy plus v into vy whole square term. Correct? Left hand side is a direct squaring. 5 square 5x square. Product no, that is y. Right hand side, left hand side of the second one is also direct. 5 square 5y square. So this is how we got squaring and adding the above equations. Now we will expand a plus b whole square and a plus b whole square for both these expressions. So left hand side I will take on 5 square common and right hand side I will have to apply a plus b whole square formula. So this gives us 5 square into 5x square plus 5y square is equal to right hand side ux plus vvx whole square. So it will give us a plus b whole square formula. So u square ux square plus v square vx square plus 2uv ux vx. This is one term for us. Similarly, the second one is uy plus vvy the whole square. So u square ux uy square uy square plus v square vy square plus 2uv uy vy. Let me show you how it is, just showing the previous page for you. So left hand side what I have done, I have taken just 5 square common and I have written 5x square plus 5y square. Right hand side is ux plus vvx whole square. A plus b the whole square will be a square plus b square plus 2ab term. So that is what I have written here, a square plus b square plus 2 into a into b. Similarly for uuy plus vvy. uuy plus vvy. So let us call this as equation 1. Now we need to use the given data. The given data says that f of z is analytic. So using that, we need to use the CR equations and change the y terms to x. So since f of z is analytic, by CR equations, we know that it is ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. Vx is equal to minus uy. So these are the CR equations for us. I wrote it for y terms because I need to change y to x in equation 1. So equation 1 implies phi square into 5x square plus 5y square. Left hand side I am writing as it is. Right hand side I need to use second bracket everywhere. Y should be changed to x. First bracket as it is. So u square ux square plus v square vx square plus 2uv ux vx. First entire bracket as it is. In the second bracket, it is u square into uy is nothing but minus vx. So uy square will be vx square. Squaring it becomes positive. Plus v square into ux square. And this becomes minus. How it is minus, I'll just let you know. Uy is equal to minus vx we have. So plus into minus becomes minus. So it is minus 2uv ux vx. 2uv term as it is. Uy is equal to minus vx, vy is equal to ux. So plus into minus minus ux into vx. And we observe that plus and minus 2uv term, the product of it gets cancelled. They are like terms, no? So they get cancelled. So what do I remain is left hand side phi square into 5x square plus 5y square as it is. And right hand side I can take u square common and write down ux square plus vx square. And again v square common and write down ux square plus vx square. So that again ux square plus vx square is common. I remain as u square plus v square. So are you able to understand this step? In these two terms, u square is common. When we take u square common, we remain ux square plus vx square. And again in the second and the fourth term, v square is common. When I take that, I have vx square plus ux square. Same as writing reverse of it. Again, the bracket terms are common for us. So I take that ux square plus vx square common. Remains with u square plus v square. But let us recall what is u square plus v square. Recall u square plus v square is nothing but phi square. Phi square. Phi is square root of and phi square is u square plus v square. So we are able to use that in the right hand side and rewrite the expression as left hand side phi square into phi x square plus phi y square as it is. Right hand side it was ux square plus uy square into phi square. Ux square plus vx, it was vx square, I'm sorry. Ux square, let me just check that. Yeah, ux square plus vx square it is multiplied by phi square. Multiplied by phi square. So that left hand side and right hand side, both the sides I have phi square common. I have phi square common to cancel. It's in the product now, so I can cancel it. So that I can retain with the expression that phi x square plus phi y square is equal to ux square plus vx square. I'll call this the next numbering. Say equation 2. Now we use the expression with f dash of z, what we are familiar with. So we know that f dash of z is equal to ux plus I into vx. Now taking modulus of f dash z. Again, why modulus? Because it is our requirement. You can just see the what is to be proved, the requirement, what is to be shown. We can just check it out once. Phi x square plus phi y square should be proved as mod f dash z whole square. Mod f dash z whole square. So mod f dash z I want and I need to square it also. So So let us square it and write down. So this implies squaring on both sides. This gives us mod f dash z the whole square is equal to ux square plus vx square. So I'll just call this as equation 3. Now we substitute equation 3 into, means ux square plus vx square is substituted as mod f dash z whole square in the right hand part of equation 2. So substituting 3 into, we get the required answer now. We get left hand side is 5x square plus 5y square. I keep the left hand side as it is, 5x square plus 5y square, and right hand side is nothing but mod f dash z whole square. Mod f dash z the whole square. Because ux square plus vx square from equation 3 is nothing but mod f dash z the whole square. Hence the proof for us. Now we'll see the next standard proof, which is fifth one. If f of z is analytic function, if f of z is analytic function with constant modulus, then show that f of z is constant. F of z is also constant. So this is the question for us. It is given that f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic with constant modulus. It is given that f of z is having a constant modulus. This is the keynote point for us. So let us see the solution. Given f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic. So we have to take modulus. It is having constant modulus, means I have to take the modulus of f of z. So mod f of z will be equal to square root of u square plus v square. And this is given as constant, say c. F of z is having the constant modulus. So when I take modulus of f of z, it should be a constant. Say it is equal to c for us. So squaring on both sides, we can get u square plus v square. U square plus v square is equal to c square. So let me call this as equation 1. And now we will differentiate equation 1 partially with respect to x and proceed. Now the proof is to prove that f of z is a constant function, right? So in order to do that, we will differentiate equation 1 partially with respect to x and later with respect to y. And we use f of z as analytic, so CR equations can be used. Using that, we will change the y terms to x as we did in the previous two problems. And we will be able to square and add them up to obtain the required answer. Right? Let us see the steps one by one. Now, firstly, we have to differentiate equation 1 partially with respect to x. With respect to y, I need not do. I can directly show the expression, because with respect to y, if we have to do, we need not do it because this is a symmetric function. Equation 1 is a symmetric function. So directly, once I differentiate partially with respect to x, I can similarly write down an expression with respect to y. Now, what is differentiation of u square? It is 2u into dou u by dou x plus 2v into dou v by dou x is equal to 0. 0 because the right hand side c square is a constant. Differentiation of a constant is 0. U square, u and v both are functions of x and y. So it is not just differentiation is 2u. We have to apply the chain rule. So dou u by dou x. Similarly, 2v into dou v by dou x. Now we have 2 common and equating to 0. We can have the expression as u into ux plus v into vx is equal to 0. We'll call this as equation 2 for convenient. Now keeping this in mind, similarly I can write down with respect to y, u into uy plus v into vy is equal to 0. And let me call this as equation 3. We have written similarly for y term because equation 1 is a symmetric function. U square plus v square is equal to c square. U and v both are having squares now. So keeping that in mind, the differentiation goes in the same manner with respect to y partially. That is why we are able to write down u uy plus v y is equal to 0 directly. Now with equation 2 and 3, we will square and add it up. We can square and adding equation 3, we'll be able to get the next step. So squaring and adding equation 3, squaring and adding equation 2 and 3. Equations 2 and 3 actually, we get, so what do we get when we square and add? We have whole square term in the left hand side, no? So ux plus vvx whole square, ux plus vvx whole square plus uuy plus vvy the whole square is equal to 0. Right hand side is anyway 0. Now we will expand this, a plus b whole square. So u square ux square plus v square vx square plus 2uv ux vx. This is the first term for us. Plus second term in the same manner, u square uy square plus v square vy square plus 2uv uy vy is equal to 0. And let me call this as equation 4 because I'll be in need of this after using CR equations. It is given that f of z is analytic, so I can use CR equations at this stage now. So let us write on the same thing. Since f of z is analytic, by CR equations, we have ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. And as usual, I will change the y terms to x. It is always preferable to do that. So we have ux is equal to vy and vx is equal to minus uy. I'll use it in the second bracket entirely of equation 4. So equation 4 implies the first bracket I will retain as it is, u square ux square plus v square vx square plus 2uv ux vx as it is. And in the second bracket I will change the term uy is equal to minus vx. So when I square it, it is plus vx square plus v square into vy is nothing but ux. So it is ux square. And we have minus 2uv into ux into vx is equal to 0. It's minus because there was a plus sign, I know, but one of the CR equation is negative. Uy is negative. So when I take uy as minus vx, we get a negative sign. Plus into minus becomes minus. So that is the reason I wrote minus here. Now we observe that 2uv product term gets cancelled. One is with a plus sign, the other one with the minus sign. So it get cancelled now. And in the next step, we take u square common in these two and we take v square common in these two. So steps are almost similar what we saw in the previous problem. Correct? So in the same manner, we are going to proceed. Taking u square common in the first two terms, this can be written as u square common. So what do I remain is ux square plus vx square. Similarly, in the next terms, v square common and we remain again ux square plus vx square is equal to 0. Now again ux square plus vx square is common and we remain u square plus v square is equal to 0. But what do we know about u square plus v square? Let me show it to you in the previous page. We know that u square plus c square is equal to c square. U square plus v square is not equal to 0. We can conclude using equation 1. It is equal to some constant value. It is not equal to 0. So since u square plus v square is not equal to 0, we must have the derivative ux square plus vx square equated to 0. Correct? So we'll just quote the same thing as a reason and write down below. Since u square plus v square is not equal to 0 using equation 1, this is because of equation 1, then we must have ux square plus vx square equated to 0. The product is equal to 0 means one of them should be obviously equated to 0. We already know from the given data that u square plus v square is c square, which is not equal to 0 value. And that is the reason we must have ux square plus vx square equated to 0. And let me call this as some numbering. The next numbering that I have to give is equation 5. Now, we will consider the expression for f dash of z. Consider f dash of z given by ux plus I into vx. Now we take modulus of this and square it on both sides. Mod f dash z the whole square is equal to square root of ux square plus vx square. And squaring on both sides, mod f dash z the whole square. So this was mod f dash z only. This was mod f dash z only, which was equal to square root of ux square plus vx square. Correct? And now squaring on both sides, this can be written as ux square plus vx square. Mod f dash z whole square is ux square plus vx square. And using equation 5, what do we know? This is equal to 0 because we used equation 5 here. Using equation 5. Let me explain once again. We consider the expression for f dash of z, which is ux plus I into vx. When I take modulus on both sides, it is modulus f dash of z is equal to square root of ux square plus vx square. So mod f dash z whole square will be now equal to squaring on both sides ux square plus vx square. And using equation 5, we know that ux square plus vx square is 0. So that is why we equate this to 0. So mod f dash z is equal to 0 means same as writing mod f dash of z. Modulus of f dash of z is now equal to 0. Square is equal to 0. So mod f dash of z is also equal to 0. Implies f dash of z is also equal to 0. F dash of z is also equal to 0. If f dash of z is equal to 0, we can say that on integration f of z is equal to constant. What we wrote there, we have the expression mod f dash of z is equal to 0, and on integration we can say f of z is equal to constant. Say k. And that was our requirement. If we could recall, we had to prove that f of z is constant. Given f of z is an analytic function with constant modulus. Having constant modulus we took in the beginning only, no? So having mod f of z is equal to constant, we need to prove that f of z is also a constant. F of z is constant. Hence the proof. Now we will see one last standard proof, the sixth one. It's actually known as the orthogonal property. Orthogonal property. So let us see the question first. So the question format will be something like this. If f of z is equal to u plus iv is analytic, then the family of curves, u of x comma y is equal to c1 and v of x comma y is equal to c2. U of x comma y is equal to c2 intersect each other orthogonally. And what are C1 and C2? C1 and C2 are constants. So U is equal to constant and V is equal to constant is given. They are showing the Cartesian curve, that is why x comma y is written as the Cartesian coordinates. Now let us do the proof of this, the orthogonal property proof. Proof for the same. We know that two curves intersect each other orthogonally. Two curves intersect each other orthogonally if the tangents at the point of intersection, at the point of intersection are at right angles. See, when we draw some curves, we cannot say the curves intersect orthogonally directly. We need to say that the tangents at the point of intersection are at right angles, are at 90 degree. And we are also familiar that dy by dx represents slope of the tangent and the condition of perpendicularity of two lines is that the product of the slopes of those two curves must be equal to -1. I repeat, dy by dx represents the slope of the tangent and the condition for perpendicularity of two lines is that the product of their slopes must be equal to -1. So here also we are going to prove the same thing. The products of the slopes, let us denote the slopes by m1 and m2. So we need to prove the slopes, product of the slope, that is m1 into m2 is equal to -1. That is our requirement. And in order to arrive at that, we use the given data, that is u is equal to constant c1 and v of x comma y is equal to constant c2. So we start with that. Consider one of the curve u is equal to u of x comma y is equal to c1 and we differentiate with respect to x, treating y as a function of x. Okay, so consider the first curve. Consider u of x comma y is equal to c1. This is the first curve given for us, no? Now we differentiate this, with respect to x, treating y as a function of x. So there comes the chain rule concept once again. So we have to differentiate partially with respect to x. So this gives us dou u by dou x plus dou u by dou y into dy by dx is equal to 0. Dou u by dou x plus dou u by dou y into dy by dx is equal to 0. We have to differentiate with respect to x, treating y as a function of x, the partial differentiation concept, what we are aware of. So in that the chain rule concept is is written here. So dou u by dou x first term. With respect to y, when we are differentiating, it is dou u by dou y, because u is a function of both x and y, right? So that is the reason it is dou u by dou y into dy by dx is equal to 0. So this gives us what is dy by dx from this? Dy by dx, one of the slope we are representing, it is nothing but minus dou u by dou x divided by dou u by dou y. And say this is equal to m1, one of the slope. Dy by dx represents the slope for us now. So one of the slope we have written it as say m1. Similarly, when I consider the second curve given for us, that is v of x comma y is equal to c2. And once again, we differentiate with respect to x, treating y as a function of x. So we get dou v by dou x plus dou v by dou y into dy by dx is equal to, differentiation of a constant is 0. And again from this I am able to write down what is dy by dx, which is minus dou v by dou x divided by dou v by dou y. Say this is equal to m2, another slope for us denoted by m2, minus dou v by dou x divided by dou v by dou y. Now in the next page, we'll take product m1 into m2. That is our requirement now. I have to prove that m1 into m2 is equal to minus 1. So that is the reason we take product of these two expressions. So therefore, m1 into m2 is equal to, minus into minus gets cancelled. So we have dou u by dou x into dou v by dou x divided by dou u by dou y into dou v by dou y. Let me call this as equation 1, because I now we have to use the given data that given f of z is analytic. It is given that f of z is analytic now, so we can use CR equations and change the y term to x as usual. So since f of z is analytic, we'll write down the same thing below. Since f of z is analytic, by CR equations, we have dou u by dou x is equal to dou v by dou y, and dou v by dou x is equal to minus dou u by dou y. I wrote the reverse manner because I would like to always change y terms to x now. So dou v by dou y is equal to dou u by dou x, ux is equal to vy, and vx is equal to minus uy. Those are the CR equations what we have memorized. So now we will substitute this in equation 1 and show that the product is equal to minus 1. So equation 1 implies m1 into m2 is equal to, numerator I will retain as it is, dou u by dou x into dou v by dou x. Denominator, dou u by dou y into dou v by dou y. Dou u by dou y is minus dou v by dou x into dou v by dou y is dou u by dou x. Right? And observe that the terms are getting cancelled. That is, dou u by dou x is getting cancelled with dou u by dou x in the denominator. And similarly, dou v by dou x is getting cancelled with dou v by dou x. And hence we are able to obtain minus in the numerator. If I take, terms are getting cancelled, but the product is equal to minus 1 now. So m1 into m2 I am getting as minus 1 as the product. Hence, the two curves intersect orthogonally. Therefore, given two curves intersect orthogonally. Hence the proof for us. So hope these problems on different varieties, which I call it as miscellaneous problems, and some standard proofs. So all these problems were helpful for you to understand, and thank you for watching.